In this message, the mother is speaking to us, divine feminines, about healing from betrayal. Healing from betrayals. Betrayals are something that most of us have gone through, most of us, if not almost all of us, have experienced. Well, today in this message, she's going to talk to us about harnessing the power through betrayal, harnessing the power and pushing yourself even further into your divine evolution. You don't want to miss this conversation. Please take the moment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let's tap in. Let's get it. Thank you for tuning in to Sacred Empowerments of the Divine Feminine. What's good, Divine Feminines? How is everyone doing? If this is your first time listening to me or hearing the sound of my voice, please take a moment after you have watched this video and subscribe to the tribe. We are growing a beautiful family over here, and we would love to have you be a part of it. Also, hit the like button, leave a comment, share, tell a friend about the channel. All of it is greatly appreciated. And all of it goes a long way to aid in our growth. And we really, really appreciate your presence on the channel. To all of my returning subscribers, Soul Tribe, what's good, family? Those of you who have been with me from the beginning, I greatly appreciate you returning back to the channel to hear what the mother has to say to us today. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Also, hit the like button, okay? That is a great way to share a little bit of energy to support the channel. That is a great way to support the growth of the channel. Leave a comment. Doesn't have to be anything great or grand. Like I always say, you could just say, "Hey, girl, how you doing?" or anything of the sort. Leave a thumbs up. Um, hit me with a purple heart. All of that goes a long way. Okay. So we're going to get into this message today. I hope everybody's doing good. I hope you're feeling good. I'm feeling great. I don't know what just happened with my technology here. I was in prayer, and so and then everything just kind of shorted out, and I was asking Spirit what was that about? Because I mean I got a lot of stuff plugged up and everything, but I don't know what that was about. But sometimes the power of prayer is a real thing. I might have called in too much energy and the electricity went all crazy. Anyway, I got it together and we're going to get into this little message from the mother. I was just sitting here collecting my thoughts and she reiterated to me. I've had this message prepared for a little while now. I've been going through myself another transformative phase, dealing with some past life energy. So I haven't been on. I've been trying to make sure I do come onto the channel and share with you guys. Please tap into the other playlists as well. We have the initiates. Had a wonderful conversation the other day on the initiates. We've been going through the lesser keys, the greater and the lesser keys of Solomon, and I don't go through it in a really an occult way. In other words, I'm not really digging into the Damians and the energies that he's calling up. I'll leave that to everyone to do on their own if that's something you're interested in. But I do go through it in a way to help me understand some things that Spirit has been trying to get me to understand in this next phase of my evolution. And so I just come on and share it with you and we kind of walk through it together. So tap into that. The prayers of the awakened goddess is also there to go with you during your prayer times, during your invocation times, and just to uplift you and everything like that. So also, what else do we have? We have the push messages. Okay. Those are messages, those are motivational, very quick, very powerful motivational messages for those divine feminines who are really working towards their destiny, their purpose, manifesting the life that they want to live. Those messages are there just to give you that little extra, you know what I'm saying, little flame to your fire, you know what I mean, to keep you going. So tap into those. And whichever videos you tap into, make sure you hit the like button. Again, your support goes a long way to aid us in building this community, this family that we are building, because it's not just my channel. All right, it's not just my channel. Okay. It's all of our channel where we can come and grow and glean and support each other and celebrate each other as divine feminines. All right. So, without further ado, we're going to get into the first half of this message. Now, the mother really wants to talk about the energy of betrayal. I think what I'm feeling her tell me is that unfortunately, but quite naturally, as women, we have dealt with a lot of betrayal. We have dealt with a lot of betrayal spiritually. We have dealt with a lot of betrayal physically, emotionally, our heart space, mentally. We've dealt with a lot of betrayal over most of our lifetimes, right? And just speaking of this lifetime in specifically, um, most of us have dealt with betrayal at one time or another, you know, going all the way back to our childhoods. And betrayal is probably one of the most hurtful things that an individual can deal with, because it it betrays the trust that you have granted to a person, and so to betray someone's trust is like impeding upon their sense of safety, right? Betrayals create um a energy in us at times where we no longer feel safe, whether it's safe with that person, whether it's safe in that environment, whether it is safe in that relationship. We no longer feel a sense of safety. Even sometimes on our jobs, we lose a sense of security when someone in upper management or someone on, your work team or whatever the case may be, betrays you. So I know I've dealt with a lot of betrayal. I've dealt with a lot of betrayal on the job, in relationships, in the home, just dealt with and it's not something I think that as a human we can avoid in the current condition of society. We're going to deal with betrayals, right? So y'all know that on this channel, um I am a adamant messenger of alchemy, okay? Of taking the elements of your life and the things that has been presented to you in life and alchemizing those things in a way that you can continue to find useful, right? When things feel good, when relationships are going well, when things are good on the job, we look at those things as useful. When the bank account is full, we feel like we are useful or we have resources, right? But all things that are presented to you in this life are useful. It is up to you to determine how you are going to use it, because it's not a if you're going to use it. It's not a if. You're going to use it in one way or another. You're going to use it in one way or another. And so I'm feeling spiritually that the mother wants to talk specifically about betrayal and how we can use betrayal to continue to aid our growth and our evolution, our healing, because betrayal hits so close to the heart center, right? Because again, this it's usually brought on like if you're not trusting and believing in a person as to what they said they were going to do and be in your life, um, then there's no betrayal that can happen. A person that you don't trust cannot betray you. A person that you see for exactly who they are cannot betray you, right? Betrayal happens because a person or a situation presents itself to you one way and you build a certain reliance, you build a certain trust upon that person or that situation or that environment, right? And and then they pull the rug from up under your feet, so to speak. Just when you're standing on what you think is solid ground, what you think is love, what you think is compassion, what you think is nurturing, what you think is provision, when you step out on it, it's because you believed in it. It's because you trusted in it. It's because you thought that it was exactly as it was presented to be. If you can see through a person's facade, then there's no chance that they can betray you because you see the mask. But most often or not, we don't see the mask. We don't see, some people are really, really good at putting their representative before you. And you can be X amount of months, X amount of years before the mask falls off. Okay. And so this is where we'll talk a little bit later, but this is where a heightened sense of intuition is needed, is needed. And a deeper sense of trust in that intuition is needed because even even as we go forward in the universal awakening, the collective awakening, um some people just have dark energies and like to be in the shadows. And so they will use their spiritual prowessness, if you want to call it that, their spiritual savvy, right, to continue to fortify their mask. You see, not everybody is healing. Not everybody is healing that is spiritual. And this is something the mother and my spirit team have to tell me all the time. Yolanda, you have to remember that everything and everyone that is spiritually gifted, it is not a direct indication that they are spiritually evolving. Gifts do not immediately directly equate to evolution. Being spiritually gifted does not immediately mean that they're spiritually evolving, right? So some people, as we continue on this collective awakening and people are tapping in, and then you got folks all over the internet putting up spells and stuff all over the internet, you could go on Pinterest right now and hex a person to the dust just off going on Pinterest. You don't even have to be a spiritually evolving person. You could go on TikTok right now and tap in, you know, spells. And I mean, there's a plethora of information at how to be magical or how to do root work or spell work and things like that. So, um, some people are using this hyper sense of spirituality that's going on in the collective right now to actually fortify their mask, to go deeper into the shadows. Not everybody's trying to come to the light. Not everybody's trying to heal. Okay. Okay. And why that is, I don't know. Why would you not want to heal? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. But I chop it up to maybe this is just not the lifetime for them. And I leave it at that. But the fact of the matter is, I see what I see. I know what I see. And it is my job to have a deeper sense of intuition. It is my job to make sure I'm going into the light. Because when you go into the light, when you push yourself and keep working on yourself, and you make it a point to consciously say, no, I'm going to heal. I am going to balance my dark and my light energy. I am going to bring the light to what is my shadows, because in order for you to see somebody else's shadows, you have to be strong in your light frequency. Okay? Because they can't hide in light. They can't. I don't care how deep in the shadows they are. So when we're dealing with people who have presented to us their representatives, and we have believed that this could be something you have dealt with in an old timeline, and you could be on a new timeline now, like I am. You know, I dealt with a lot of betrayal in a past timeline, but I'm on a new timeline now. But the mothers, we still have to heal, you know, because some betrayals run deep. Some betrayals run very deep, particularly when you're talking about childhood betrayals. Okay. They run deep. And so, like I was sharing with you, here in the last 2 weeks, I've been really, it's been brought to my attention by spirit, a deeper level of betrayal, something lurking in the darkness. Okay. That now at this phase of where I am, the light that I'm standing in is illuminating something, illuminating something that has a lot to do with um, attachments, childhood attachments, genetic energies. Um, and so the light that I'm in is illuminating that at this time. All right. What we need to understand about betrayal, right? Betrayal can be and often is the third dimensional way. It is the way that this dimension that we exist in is the way that it is reflecting to our consciousness a need to change or a need for change. Okay? Betrayals happen in this dimension to reflect to you that there is somewhere in your consciousness where a change is needed. It could be a change in you, it could be a change in your ability to trust your intuition. It could be a change in your reliance on an individual. It could be a change in the trust you have in a situation. But the betrayal is revealing that to you, right? Because whether you know it or not, the betrayal is happening. This is the thing. Like, the betrayal doesn't happen at the point that you find out about it. Okay? The betrayal was happening even when you didn't have any consciousness for it. You didn't know anything about that. You didn't know he was cheating on you. You didn't know that your coworker was going to the supervisor and telling lies on you about the work floor or who contributed to what or who did what. You didn't know that your cousin was going to other cousins and talk about how you don't keep your, this, that, and you ain't this, and you ain't got that, and you didn't know about it, but it was still happening. The betrayal was happening before you found out about it. And so when you find out about it, when it is brought to your awareness, it is the universe's way of making you aware that the trust, the attachment, the relationship, the bond, the tie, the cord that you have to this situation is not in your favor. The betrayal is being brought to your awareness because when it is not in your awareness, unbeknownst to you, you are being sabotaged. And because you are relying or trusting or bonded or attached to the individual who is betraying you, then it is like an unconscious self-sabotage. It is like you're tied to something that is working against you unbeknownst to you. So the betrayal, yes, it hurts. Yes, 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 it hurts. But the betrayal that you are now aware of, or you were made aware of in the past, and that you're still maybe holding on to, that betrayal was there. That betrayal was brought to your awareness because there was something that you were trusting, something that you were relying on, something that you were depending on, someone that you were depending on, someone that you were literally constructing your whole life around. Your whole life. Every decision you were making was centered around this individual. Every decision you were making was centered around this job. Every decision that you were making was being made with that person in mind. And this is why it hurts when people who we have brought into our heart space betray us, because we as divine feminines, we as women have a innate sense of nurturing that makes it that and it's so ingrained in us. It's like it's on autopilot. It just, we don't think about it. When we bring you into our heart space, we begin to tailor ourselves with those people in mind. This is how a lot of women, and you may be able to attest to this. You may be able to attest to this, but on your healing journey, one of the first things that you often have to deal with is the idea that, hey, I've been putting everybody else in my family, everybody else in my house, everybody else in front of myself, because I am the woman of my house, which means I am the core. I am the core. I am currently not married now, but I have been. And and you are the core of the household. You have the spouse is looking to you. If you have children, they are looking to you. Baby, 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 can you? Baby, can you? Mommy, 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 can you? Mommy, can you? Mommy, mommy, sis, 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 can you? Like, cuz, can you? Daughter, can you? Like, you are the core as a woman. You are the womb as the woman in your life. And so when you bring people into your heart space, when you bring situations, co-workers and supervisors, and you think you have good relationships and rapports with these people, and you have a good relationship and rapport, of course, with your partner, and you have, some of you all have children that are older than mine. Your children can even grow up and betray you, your own child. And then on a collective level, the way society continues to betray the feminine energy, right? We we have to sometimes relearn how to think of ourselves in an individualized way and put ourselves at the top of our priority, because we have this nurturing quality that is sometimes on autopilot. And it will go and go and go, and it'll be there for the husband, it'll be there for the whoever, it'll be there for the boyfriend, it'll be there for the girlfriend, it'll be there for the children, it'll be there for the co-workers, it'll be there for the supervisor. Mama calling, she needs something. I gotta go see about my mom. I gotta go over see about my daddy. I gotta go see about my brother. I gotta, like, we will just go on autopilot. And so, a beautiful quality that we have as divine feminines, we abuse and we allow to be abused. So, betrayal when you have that kind of frequency going on inside of you, that nurturing, compassion, passionate quality, and you have allowed someone into your space, and you know you're going to bring all of that energy into whatever the dynamic between you and that person is, and then they create a facade and you trust that they are not going to abuse those qualities, and then they go right out and do that. Yes, that runs deeply, but the betrayal is reflecting to you that you are nurturing something, you are giving to someone, you are supporting someone, you are providing for someone, you are sharing your power with someone who you should not be. You're sharing all of the essence of who you are as a divine feminine with someone who does not deserve that part of you. This is the reason why the third dimension is bringing this to your consciousness. So a lot of times, right, as you awaken and as you're awakening and as you're growing and as you're learning what all of this means, um there are concepts that have to be unlearned and then relearned if you're going to forge for yourself a stable sense of peace. If you're going to get to the place where your peace is unmovable, your peace, your peace, your love, your higher vibrational self, your more positive self, if you're going to find stability and peace, you have to have the ability to relearn how to define the storms. This is not about saying that there's going to be no storms because I'm awakened and because I'm walking all high and vibration and everything's everything. This is not saying there's definitely going to be more storms. Like that's what this is. What you do have the power, however, to do is to retrain the mind, right? To not be so reactionary. Because when the mind is hyper reactionary, it causes the emotions then to be hyper reactionary. And so the negative perception you have about whatever you're facing, the negative perception that you have about the betrayal or the betrayals is going to immediately prompt into you a negative emotion. And this is where the anger, the outburst, this is where the you kind of get off kilter. Like, this is where someone can betray you and it sends you spiraling into a lot of low vibrational energy. There you have every right to be upset. You have every right to be hurt. You have every right to every tear that you cry. You have every right to everything that you feel when you're dealing with certain issues in life. But you have the power to choose as to how you're going to move in the future, how you're going to move, whether it is with that individual, whether it is on the job, whether it is with that friend group, whether it's with that, whoever and whatever, family, member, whoever. You have every right to feel what you feel. But there's a certain peace that is acquired when your first mind is trained to look at things as okay, I needed to know that. And I didn't know that that was in this person. I didn't know that my best friend, who I've gone and had countless mimosas with, child, we done went to brunch, we done been traveling, we done been all over the world. You know what I'm saying? We just homegirls. We done been horseback riding. We done been on hot air balloons together. We sit up and talk about situations. She done been through good times, bad times. I didn't know that deep down at the deepest, darkest sides of her was jealousy. I didn't know because for whatever reason, I couldn't see it beyond the mask. Maybe I did see it, I didn't want to see it. Maybe my lack of being healed within myself didn't wouldn't allow me to trust what I was seeing. It doesn't matter. We're here now. I see it now. So what do I do with that? What do I do with that? How do I respond to that? So betrayal runs deep because these are people that we have brought into our heart space. But the universe and the third dimension is trying to honestly protect you. I keep hearing the word protect you from yourself. Because to be honest, right? If you think back, if you just let your mind go back, over the years that you've known this individual or you've been on this job or you've been a part of this friend group, if you be honest, your spirit been telling you something wasn't right. It's been telling you something wasn't right. It's been trying to alert you, hey, don't put all your eggs in one basket with this Negro. Hey, something is a little bit off. I don't know what it is, but something is off. And for countless reasons, possibly because we have that nurturing quality on autopilot a lot of times, we just ignore. We just simply ignore the small whisper that tells us that someone we're about to get into a relationship with, someone we're about to get into an attachment with is not good for us. And we do it anyway. For countless reasons, we ignore many times our intuition. So then, what does what does the universe have to do? Well, really, to be honest, the universe doesn't do much of anything because what it was doing was trying to alert you that something is coming up the road and you can avoid it if you avoid this person. But because we choose to ignore those small nudges, then we walk ourselves right into a brick wall and then be crying, "Oh, I got a boo-boo. Oh, they hurt me. I got boo-boo." You walked yourself right into a brick wall. The spirit tried to tell you, slow down, there's a brick wall a coming, and you ran right into it, and then now you have a boo boo. And so the brick wall of betrayal is the result of ignoring your intuition. The brick wall of betrayal that you ran slap into, that I ran slap into, that we all, most a lot of times, run slap into is because we either ignored the small, subtle nudges that we felt on the onset of that relationship, on the onset when we got the job, we heard spirit tell us, okay, don't go in here gossiping. Keep your eyes open. When you got the job, spirit was already showing you, sister girl over there in that cubicle over there. just, be cool. But then you went to the cafeteria and she was, hey, how you doing? You knew it. And y'all got to chop it up. And she seemed sweet enough. So then you dismiss it like, no, that's probably just me being paranoid. I'm cool. I'm cool. She's straight. She cool. And now you'd have been on the job a good 6 months to a year. And now you're finding out that she been running back to the supervisor, taking credit for something you did, taking credit for the success of the project, taking credit, downplaying your contribution. The same one that 6 months when you first got the job, Spirit said, stay away from her, stay away from Shaniqua. That she ain't, something ain't right. But because she was sweet as pie, she was sweet as apple pie. You forged what you thought was a little friendship. And now you're finding out a year, 2 years later that you're on the verge of being fired because Shaniqua been running back to the supervisor, taking all the credit for the contribution on the project, making it seem like you ain't contributing nothing and you ain't available and you be late to work and you don't know what you don't know what you know. It's either we ignored it or we're simply not using our intuition to lead us into these relationships to begin with. It's one of the two. So on the latter, if you're not leading into connections and relationships and decisions with intuition, if you're not letting the intuition, if you're not letting the spirit lead you, if you're just using your masculine energy and just making decisions and just going to and fro and running pillar to post, doing things because you're not letting spirit lead you, then the brick wall of betrayal that you're most likely going to run into at some point is there to alert you that you may need to start using your intuition a little bit more, using the spirit, putting the spirit ahead of you like a GPS system, letting it is your internal GPS system, because it's like, what do you call those things? People who travel and do a lot of driving, they have those radars, those police radars, right? I always wanted me one, but I don't do it. I'm going to be doing more traveling, so I'll probably get me one. But now the GPS system will let you know when it's when one of them cops is sitting up there in the back of the bushes with one of them damn, speed things, right? The GPS system will let you know these days. So you don't really need a police radar. But nevertheless, it's like the police radar. It's like the GPS system. It tells you where danger is. It tells you where failure will be. You're not going to get from that relationship what you want. You're not going to get from that job what you want. This is how you can utilize it, though, to get you to where you want, but you're going to have to go over here and take a left, right? Your spirit is there to guide you. And when we don't allow the spirit to guide us, we run into the dangers of betrayal. And betrayal can be disheartening. Betrayal can betrayal can put you on your back, depending on who did it. And we've all had deep betrayals. But betrayals can be used to further push us into unhealed pain, anger, and disgruntledness. Or we can use betrayals to crown us with a certain wisdom. And this is that alchemy that we gain. This is learning to become the alchemist. That in all things that you experience, there is wisdom that can be gleaned from it. And that wisdom has a way of healing the heart. It has a way of easing the disappointment. It has a way of, it's like it's wisdom is like, you know how the scripture talked about the balm of Gilead? You know, it's an ointment. Wisdom is an ointment. Wisdom is a healing ointment. Wisdom is medication. Wisdom is a prescription. It can heal what aids what is ailing you. Finding the wisdom in the experience, whether it be a good one or a bad one. And so sometimes because we put bad experiences in a certain box in the mind, where we it's like we take the negative, what we call negative bad experiences, and we put it in a certain box in our mind, and we never go back into that box because it hurts too much. I don't want to think about them. That hurts too much. I want to think about what they did to me. That hurts too much. And then somebody else comes along and betrays you, and you put it in that same box with the other betrayal, and the box is running over, but you don't want to go into it. You don't want to open it. You got a lock and key on it. You don't go into it unless you need to put something in it. You don't ever go into it to retrieve anything from it. And your wisdom is inside that box with those betrayals. Your wisdom is inside that box with the disappointments. Your wisdom is inside the box with unrequited love. It's in the box. And so we rob ourselves of the treasure of these situations because we put it in the box, we dug a hole, and we sat it in the ground. And we don't want to go back over there unless I got to put something else in it. And then I lock it back up and I put it back down in the dirt, and it's deep down up under there. And I'm not digging that up. And so you have all of these bodies and skeletons of past experiences shut away. Shut away. And I don't know why I'm seeing the image of like how, you know, like back during the Egyptian time, Kemetic times, you know, um when they would bury and have burial for their kings or whoever, you know, whoever had whatever they had. But let's just take one of the one of the kings or one of the queens. And so now they've been over the years, over the generations and stuff, over the years, digging up these mummies and whatnot, digging up these prominent comedic figures. And you know how they say inside the burial of, you know, Pharaoh, whoever, was gold coins, and he had on jewels, a necklace with jewels, and he's all skeleton. He's all, I mean, he's not, I mean, it's a skeleton, it's a mummy, so he's mummified, but inside the coffin with him, or inside the cave with him, was all of these precious jewels, all of these gold figures and things he had buried with him. And they'll speculate about as to why, and they'll speculate as to who he was or she was, what their prominence was in society at that time based on the treasures that were buried with them. And so people put treasures inside of coffins. People bury treasures in graves. And so when you have had all of these experiences that you don't want to dig up, you have inside that box with the betrayal, with the unrequited love, with the disappointment, inside that box that you have buried deep in the reservoirs of your mind that you don't want to go into, is these treasures that you will not be able to uncover because you're not willing to go back in the box and investigate. You're not willing to dig that back up, to investigate, to glean the wisdom, the treasures from that experience. So you go further and further and further into unhealed pain, further and further and further into anger and disgruntledness and victimization and disappointment and bitterness. But what the mother wants us to know is that we can use these betrayals. We can use the betrayals. We can use the disappointment. We can use the unrequited love. We can use the situation that we gave to and we received something that didn't match what we gave. We can use the times we have been let down. We can use all of these experiences and crown ourselves with a certain wisdom. Out of this wisdom, when it is used properly, we can gain discernment and self-reliance. When betrayal is used properly, the wisdom that comes from it, it heightens your discernment, it heightens your determination. It shows you your resilience. It shows you your ability to preserve yourself. It shows you your intuition and your ability to use it, because that builds a bond with your spirit team, because now you're listening, and the more they know you're listening, the more they'll tell you, and the more savvy you become. But when you don't use these betrayals, when you don't use the frequency of betrayal, you become more angry. It can lead you into being more aloof. You're standoffish. You don't trust anything. You don't trust anybody. Because to me, it's not about not trusting anyone. It's about trusting them to be exactly who they are. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Sacred Empowerments of the Divine Feminine. I am YaYa, the spiritual doula. Please stay tuned. Part 2 is going to pick up right where we have left off, and I can't wait for you guys to tap into that. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you have not, leave a comment, a thumbs up, a purple heart for your girl. I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next one, all right? Peace, family.